Hello, dear friends, and hi, this is Elvis, and this is especially for TCT Batch 1 trainers that I'm recording this. And the reason is to give you the communication module, which you have been waiting for a long time. And my sincere apologies for such a long delay. I truly apologize for that. And here is a communication module which I mentioned to you would be given in the bonus. And it's a 10 session module, which I myself have created that module, sitting almost on an average for 100 man hours that I built this module by myself. Yes. Uh, so this is the module I will just explain. The reason I'm making this module is to explain you what is in it in the module. Yes. So I will ask Rajendra to give you the access, but this is just to explain the module to you. Fine. Some of the reason not to excuse, but we have been last year has been a complete hustle for us. Yeah, complete hustle, working late nights and so yes, but still not excusing it. Apologies for that. So now very quickly, let me explain to you what is this communication module all about. This is the same module which I have mentioned to you earlier also. This one module gave me almost 6 batches in a IT company, and it was a very successful module. Yes, you check this. It's just a minute. It's here. Okay. So if you check, if you open the PPT folder, just if you are seeing this, if you open the PPT folder, you will see uh, Elvis module 1. Okay. This is the PPT, the PowerPoint presentation. Document has been loaded by CC. Do you want? Okay. So if you see, this module has all this. Yes. You just run this module. You will see all this. This was day 1. Okay. It is a breakup of 10 sessions. First half, you see 5 topics. Second half, next 5 topics, all related to communication. Especially, this is for the IT company that is a service based company that has offshore clients. Yes, who meet with these IT people and they have meetings for the project, understanding the project, doing the data gathering, and taking follow ups on the project. This team has a team lead, and regularly these people have to update the client. There is a stand up meeting every day, and every week there is a report that they have to send, and there is a lot of communication problem. And therefore, this was the background for which this training was done for these IT professionals. Okay, so it has these 10 topics. If you see now, this is session 1. Okay, and the explanation, the details of each topic is in the handout. I will show you the handout after the PPT. Okay, just running through the PPT. These are the different kinds of questions that can be asked: empathetic, non-verbal communication. Yes, session 2 is about building empathy in communication. Yes, the 3 main areas. So in each session, you will see I have followed a format of 3. I have covered 3 subtopics. Okay. So here it is importance of showing empathy in customer interactions, fostering loyalty, brand, and escalations. This is going to be covered under first subtopic. So each session has 3 topics, 3 subtopics, and in that there are 3 topics. So this was the example of Amazon that I had given once. I had a customer interaction and they denied the service. And I spoke to the floor manager, and he readily gave me the service. Since I was a very old customer, So that is how they make a customer a loyal customer. The Metropolis is a lab, blood checking lab, a technique lab where they test the blood and they give you the reports. So this is one of the personal experiences that I had shared. That once a technician told me that he's coming in 10 minutes and he did not arrive even for the next 4 hours. And that is how the brand loses its reputation. So this was the example that I had given in that. And then you have preventing escalations, uh, complex, repeated contacts, technical challenges. So now, if you go to acknowledging, appreciating, and assuring clients effectively. So prompt acknowledgement is needed, provide regular updates, address concerns proactively before the client raises concerns. And this is, guys, it's an activity where you need to identify. It's a story where there is a robbery in this town, and the police comes to inquire in each of the house and says, who are you, have you done this? And then they say, each one says, when the robbery took place in this town, we were we were not in the we were in the home. Okay, we were at home when the robbery took place. So now you need to identify who's the robber. So actually, if you see, the robber here is Rick, because only under his car there is snow. That means the vehicle had gone out. It was now not at home. Now, why do we conduct this activity? It is for identifying the eye for detail. So in communication, are you having an eye for detail? Do you observe the body language, the tone of a person? So this is all with regard to the context while speaking to the client, so that you have a happy experience, the client has a happy experience with you. Going forward, using positive languages. In our communication, it is very important to use positive language. Yes, especially in sales, especially with the clients. Because here, if you see, I can't do that, it's a negative statement. I can't. Can't is a negative statement. There is a different way to frame the same statement. Yes, you can frame it as, let me find a way to make it work. So these are all positive statements. You can use this exercise with your trainees in the room in communication. So all the examples are there. You can, if you wish, you can just hide the positive one, just show the negative and ask them, what can be the positive one? At times, it is very difficult for the trainees to identify the positive statement, because the mind by default is so framed, so hardwired to, speak negative. At the spur of the moment, very impromptu, spontaneously, we speak negative and we don't even realize it. We are unconscious about it. Yes. Then the next one, okay, these are all feedback forms, guys, that I had generated for them to give their feedback. Yes. You can also do the same. Session 3 is about corporate English for professional communication. Because at times the English that we use is very house English, yeah, what we speak at home, but the same cannot be used with client, because there the relationship is very formal. Yes. So under that, I had covered two areas: polishing language skills for professional settings and business vocabulary and phrases for effective communication. So these two areas were covered in session 3. Now let's have a very quick look. Polishing language skills for professional settings. So there are 5 ways to do it. Read widely. Okay, they should have a habit of reading. They should read books, newspapers, LinkedIn articles, practice writing. Yes, they should also journal themselves, journal their thoughts, because this is how they get into the habit of converting whatever is verbal into written. The third is expand their vocabulary. They need to expand their vocabulary. They need to read new things, identify new words, make a sentence out of those new words. Yes. And that is how they can increase their vocabulary. Now you can give them an exercise in the classroom. Tell them now that this is your task now. For till the session does not end, till the course does not end, each member in the team is going to find out 3 new words every day, and select a monitor in the class who will collect all this in a drive. And at the end of the course, 3 multiplied by the number of trainees, multiplied the number of days, it will be a database of 1,000 new words for them that they can take away. Then the fourth is be concise. They need to be very concise in whatever they speak, whatever they share. So ask them to share anything for 10 seconds. And now ask them to repeat the same thing and complete it in 5 seconds. If you see, that will be possible. Yes, and that is an activity or exercise that you can do in the room. Now you be more creative. I'm just giving you thoughts. I'm just triggering something in your mind, how to animate it, how to go about it. You can be creative and use your liberty. Stay professional. Yes, ask them like in this room, how many of you are friends? And then most of them will say, yes, we are friends. So ask this before introducing this fifth point. And then you tell them what is the difference between a friend and a colleague. Yes. So tell them that in the office, yes, we are friends, but out of the office, in the canteen, not at workplace. At workplace, we all are target driven. We all are result driven. And even if it's my friend, I will correct him in the meeting. Even if it's he's my enemy and if he's telling the right point, I will agree with him. That is all about being professional. Yes. The third is expand the vocabulary. Now, this is a small exercise which you can conduct with your trainees. Ask them to tell the meaning of this. So, glabella is basically, the point between uh, your eyebrows. That is glabella. Yes, Griffinage is a very shabby handwriting like that one of a doctor. Branach device, it is to measure the foot size when you go to a shoe shop. Year yesterday is day before yesterday. Overmorrow is day after tomorrow. Tittle is a small dot that you see on I, on J. Aglet is basically the stiff part of the shoelace that is called as aglet. So these are all vocabularies, guys. So vocabulary also helps you to make your language concise, which reduces the time, which because as per communication science, human attention is only for 3 seconds, only for 7 seconds. After that, the human mind switches off. Yes, it switches off. So you need to make your conversations very concise, very precise, and for that you need to know these vocabularies. So like air yesterday, day before yesterday, three words are converted into one word. Yes, day after tomorrow, three words is converted into one word, that is overmorrow. So you can identify many more such words and use it as an exercise. Now, grammatical errors. Yes, there are a lot of grammatical errors. I look forward to meet you, which we normally use, but the actual is I look forward to meeting you. Yes, the match was broadcasted. It's a wrong English. The match is broadcast. It was telecasted. The match was telecast. Yes, AM, PM, there are so many mistakes. There is nothing as AM and there is nothing as 12 AM and 12 PM. It is midnight or noon. 12 midnight, 12 noon. When introducing myself, Elvis, it's a completely wrong English. I am Elvis. So all these guys then expand vocabulary. Ask them these are which are most commonly used guys in email writings and all. RSVP. Ask them what is the meaning of RSVP? It is just to confirm that the guest is coming, to get the confirmation from the guest. Then incorrect usage, she pointed. So this is just a trigger. You can make a full exercise out of this. Ask them to sit down and write. You can give them the liberty, use Google, use ChatGPT. Now, this is an activity which all of you may be knowing. Yes, this is just to break the monotony. So ask them to remember this entire character in 10 seconds. Show them this and they cannot write it down. Show them this, ask them to view the screen and then ask them to reproduce this number. Now, if you see, most of them may not be able to reproduce, but there is a way of reproducing this, of remembering this. If you actually see, this is four seasons in a year, 12 months in a year, 52 weeks. Each week has 7 days. Every day has 24 hours. Every hour has 60 minutes. Every minute has 60 seconds. Some months are of 31 days, some are of 30, and some are of 28. So this is just to tell them that, how can you structure your information so that you can remember it for a long time? How can you use main keywords in your conversation or highlight them so that it is easy for the the front person to remember their message? Because one part of communication is also structuring. Because if you do not structure your content, it is random, it is very difficult to retain. So in order to increase the retention of the message, structuring is very important. And this is a small, simple activity that you can do for that. So identify the pattern, structure your message, and then give it to the person. And especially for trainers, when you're doing some training, structure your content. Be concise. How can you be concise in written? Clarity. You first need to have the clarity of the message. Then bullet points, acronyms, mental models, and pause. So mental models can be used. So in my trainings, I would give them, just let me show you. I would tell them to make mental models. For example, if I say, if you want to be a good communicator, okay, if you want to be a good communicator, just a minute, I'm just taking my whiteboard. If you want to be a good communicator, the three C's are very important to be a good communicator. Now, what is the first C? The first C, there are three C's, okay? One, two, and three. So these are the three C's of communication. Okay, the first C is clarity of message. The second C is confidence. And the third C is concise. So these are the three C's of communication. Now, this is nothing but a mental model. And this is how your messages should be when you're presenting an idea to a client, when you're presenting an idea to your project team. Now, you can use many other. This is just to give you a thought how you can use mental models in communication to convey your message in a very structured and a organized fashion. Yes. Coming next is stay professional. Okay, avoid using languages, avoid using slangs with professional clients. Okay, like chill, bro, chalo, buddy, TYSM. Okay, verbal as well as non-verbal. Be very careful in using slangs. Avoid, since they are technical guys, they are from technical background, but a lay person may not understand what is API, what is firewall, what is SaaS. So tell them to avoid that in verbal as well as non-verbal. In non-verbal, when it is a written English, they need to be, just a minute. I'm sharing my screen. Yeah. So they need to be very careful in using such technical jargons because each profession has its own terminology which only people from that field will understand. Like doctors have their own terminology, finance people have their own terminology, and people out of that field do not understand, and therefore it's their responsibility to avoid such terms. And in written English, if they are using such term, they need to first, whenever is a first usage, they need to give the full form, and then in the repeated uh, consequential usages they only can maintain the acronym. So this is all part of communication, guys. Then you come to business vocabulary and phrases. KPI, ask them, they need to know these terms. Yes, because these were new joinees, guys, for whom I was conducting this training. They were not aware of these terms. KPI, vision, mission, value proposition, what is ROI, what is a lead. Yes, they are not aware. Sometimes they're just coming out from the colleges and this is their first job. So this was a communication training for them. Yes, seniors in the industry would understand that. So ask them what is the difference between vision, mission. So vision basically is something very vague, something very huge. Give them the example of Amazon's vision is to sell everything and deliver it in a single day. So then ask them, what's your vision? You can do this as an exercise or give it for homework. Mission is something very specific in order to achieve that vision. So this is all about. So yes, now last the B part is uh, these are some of the phrases which are used by the clients because these are foreign clients and English is their mother tongue, is their first language, and at times these people are not able to understand. So what is circle back? Circle back is basically I will get back to you. Blue sky thinking is basically out of the box thinking. Boil the ocean basically is that doing a tough task, a very hard task. Ducks in a row is keeping yourself prepared for some work. Herding the cats is, working in a team that is not oriented, disorganized. Push the envelope is, again, try your best. Make hay while the sun shines is make best use of time. Balls in the air is, there are so many works that I need to do. Drink the Kool-Aid is accepting everything that is told to you. Trim the fat is reduce expenses. So these are some of the phrases they need to be aware while working in an IT industry, because your clients are also foreign clients. Now, session 4 is all about culture. Yes, because at times we are from Indian culture, they are from a Western culture. At times we judge them or they judge us. So, in order to avoid that, there were three areas that I covered. This is what you can see: A, B, and C. Okay, so now under A, just a minute, guys, just a minute. Yeah. So now under A, that is direct, there are three things that I covered: direct communication, work-life balance, cultural sensitivity. Okay. Under B, strategies for effective cross-cultural communication. These were the three areas. And so now this was a video. I think the video is there in one of the folders. You can check that. So difference between Indian accent and American accent. Then the next is American English versus British English. It's again a video. It's a wonderful video that I got from Instagram. Okay. So typical differences in accent you need to identify. Vowel sounds, how do Indians pronounce, how do they pronounce rhoticity? Rhoticity is nothing but simply basically the voice, the sound of R. And then comes T and D sounds. Yes, how do we pronounce T and D? So that is it. Speech rate, they are very, very fast at the speech rate, while Indians, we are very specific in pronouncing each sound. Yeah, we are very clear with the phonetics. The fifth is rhythmic patterns. There is a way of singing. Even in India, if you go in different state, there is some states have a singing pattern, some high tones, low tones, as though we are singing a song. So these were the different areas. Some words they need to be very aware of because they are dealing with foreign clients. Rubber is basically, guys, it's a condom. Yeah, so if you are actually referring to the rubber that erases something, it is called as a eraser. Baby is, baby is in their context, in their connotation, baby is a girlfriend or a wife. You actually are meaning to ask, how is your child? So these things they need to be aware. Madam basically is the owner of a prostitute house, of a brothel. Yes, and then sometimes they're referring them as madam, madam, madam. The best thing in Western is to refer them by their first name, and they like that. And even if they're married, they expect them not being called as Mrs. They expect them to be called as Miss. Then the sixth is colloquialism. Okay, colloquialisms are some phrases which have different meaning there. For example, if we say, he's just hanging out there, what we mean is that he's going to meet a friend, but in their context, they may have a different meaning of that. Titles and honorifics. Yes, Mrs. Titles and honorifics are basically doctor or Miss and Mrs., which I just said. Be careful on that. Colloquialism, these are the ones. We have a meaning here and a different meaning there. Fun, this is just for fun, guys, to break the monotony. This is just the mouth exercise, tongue twisters. Double, bubble, gum, bubbles, double. Billy blows big blue bubbles. Ask them to come and repeat this 10 times without making a mistake. This is again to pronounce the words very freely. Give them an exercise to find out 10 more such and practice it every day in the morning for 5 minutes. This is a learning check that I had done. You can scan the code QR this and have a learning check. Then comes session 5, establishing trust through small talk. So this was a main topic about small talk. These are the three areas that I covered under session 5. Importance. So the first one is importance of small talk. These are all the importances: breaking the ice, navigating the social situation, building a rapport, okay, networking, and professional relationships, all these. Then you go to the do's and don'ts. So do's, there are three do's, three don'ts. Yes, do pay attention to non-verbal cues, follow other person's lead, keep it light. Then the don'ts are dominate, don't dominate the conversation, don't overstep the boundaries. At times, we Indians try to get very over-friendly, and foreigners, Western culture is mostly about, keeping a space, keeping a one-hand distance. Yes. Timing and context for initiating small talk. When should the small talk be initiated? There are five different criteria. The first is read the situation. Second is Consider the proximity, especially in a physical environment. Do not come too close, especially if it's an opposite gender. It may be taken as a threat. The third is start with a neutral topic. Always when you have a rapport building, start with a neutral topic about Ford. Yes, Ford is basically family, occupation, recreation, and dreams in life. So start with something neutral. If not at all, then just simply start with the weather. And fourth is be sensitive to cultural differences. Do not judge them for their culture. If they are living with a girlfriend and they have their children, that does not mean that, they are very loose charactered, but that's the culture there. Uh, and maybe in India, we see it as a taboo. We look down to it. But, sometimes our judgments can become barriers in communication. And the fifth is respect boundaries. Yes, do not overstep into someone's professional or personal boundary. Yes, again, a QR code to take their feedback. I would take ongoing feedback. You can do the same. Sixth is effective small talk techniques. Again, this is another, advanced level of small talk where I speak about the Ford, elevator pitch, and LinkedIn. So Ford, I just now mentioned. All these things you can discuss with the person. Elevator pitch is something that needs to be done in a minute or 30 seconds. So first is introduce yourself. Second is service differentiator. How are you different? Yes, this is specifically from a business point of view. If you want business from someone, you tell them how are you different, how is your service different in the service that they need. Third is what is in it for me. Yes, tell the person what is in it for them. And the last is call for action. Call for action is nothing but asking for an appointment or taking their phone number or fixing a meeting. It's that. LinkedIn. LinkedIn, guys, I need not explain this. Most of you have spoken about this, and I have done a complete workshop for you on this. So, first is your profile. Check your profile. Make sure you have everything in place, the site poster, your DP, your description, your about section, your featured section. Check everything is okay. Second is engagement. Engage with your clients, because today, guys, communication should be seen from a wider angle, from the platform of technology. It's not just communication in the office or in the department, but it's communication, even how you communicate on digital platforms, especially on a platform like LinkedIn. The third is ICP. The fourth is your post, keep posting, add value. The fifth is connections. Yeah, connect with people who are really meaningful to you. Sixth is visibility. Yes, make sure you have the right visibility in the settings. The seventh is consistency and frequency. Be consistent in your posting. Communicate every day, because this is one platform where you can practice your communication. You can practice meaningful communication on a platform like LinkedIn. Now, moving guys to the session seven. Yeah, sorry. There is some juggling. Now is session six. Okay, we skipped that. Enhancing communication skills in video calls. Now, most of these, the trainees whom I was training were meeting the client once a week for a weekly report in which they would have to have a video call with the client, and there are the other members in the team who are there. So these are all the basics that need to be followed. Test your audio, elevate your laptop, dress professionally, position yourself at a desk or table against a plain background. You can use virtual backgrounds also, but best is to have a plain background, because virtual background reduces the trust, because your client is imagining where are you sitting. Are you sitting in a in a restaurant and having the meeting? So having a natural background like this increases the trust that yes, you are in a professional setup and you are completely committed and dedicated to the conversation. Check the lighting in the room. It has to be in front of you. Close all other apps in order to avoid any disturbances. Like for example, while having this video, shooting this video, I was getting some calls. So shut all these things off. Silence your cell phone, disable vibration alert, have a copy of your, okay, fine, this is a resume, have a copy of your meeting agenda, whatever you want to speak, put it on the, have a sticky note on the frame of the laptop. Uh, in meetings, especially, ban pets and kids and spouses. Yes, spouses, no, sorry, spouse. So yeah. And then the session eight, guys, handling challenging customer interaction. This was very important for them. Yes, setting realistic expectations with client, telling the client whatever it is and not over promising, strategies for de-escalating the tensions. And third is scope creep. So this was part of session three. I'll just tell you what it is, run through it. What was it all about? So the first part is set realistic timelines. So in software development, at times the customer comes with, I want these features, I want this software in this time, and the client says, okay, you will get ABC at XYZ rate within PQR time. But then uh, at times the initial whatever was said, and when once the work starts, there is a difference. There are many unseen things that come into the picture, and therefore they need to regularly update the client about it. Yes, that is called managing scope creep. Scope creep is basically deviating from the initial expectations. You will see that here. Okay, so how to avoid, how to dissolve tensions? There are tensions sometimes between the client and the provider. Yes, so involve a neutral third party. Here I give them an example. Once how I went to a tire shop to change the tire of my car, and I made a payment and still he did not get it. And so the tension increased. But then there was a third person who came in, and then he told each one of us that, hey, it may be a technological problem, and don't worry, you take down his number. If you still don't get the payment later, you will get it. So this is how third person is very important. In their case, a third person could be a team lead, it could be the department head, the HR manager who can jump in, because at times you are subjective, where you are into a situation. You need to have an objective person who is out of the circle, who can see things very neutrally. So offer solutions, remain calm and composed. I again give an example. So basically, guys, I give a lot of personal real life examples. So here I gave them an example. Once I was returning from my training and we had an accident. The driver just dashed the cyclist, and he just flung, and the entire village came together, and they hammered the driver, and the next turn was mine. And then I just apologized, and we quietly moved out from there, because that was not our area. We were not in the range. But yes, I did not panic. I did not, if I would have panicked, they would have taken advantage of it. But we kept calm, and we moved out from that situation. So at times with the client also, there may be situations where you may lose temper and spoil relationships, which will affect the company. So even your temper is a part of your communication. It's an origin of how you communicate with the person. It's how you perceive the person. Yes, so scope creep is basically that incremental growths. In incremental growths, you have to keep informing the client about any change. Yeah, any change, and as well as any challenges, because the client at times is not aware. He's not from a technical background, but you are. The technical challenges that you are going through, your client is not understanding. You need to educate your client. Yes, risk of project failure. Yes. So if you do not do the scope grab, there is a risk of project failure. Now, failure does not literally mean that the project, like for example, here it was software, that the software has viruses. No, project failure is also missing the deadline. Yes, the deadline was promised and it is not done. So it's a project failure. Yes. So third is communicate transparently. So be very transparent with your client. Okay. Tell him whatever it is. It's better to get one shout than getting 10 shoutings. So the ninth session was presentation skills for client meetings. So starting and ending the meetings, how do you start and end the meeting, anticipating common questions and responses, defining clear objectives for each client meeting. So whenever you have, this is specifically for meeting, join early, clearly state the agenda and the objective. AO is nothing but agenda and objective. Recap is DDA here is basically nothing but whatever has been discussed, whatever has been decided. And so this is now the action plan. Yes, so DDA is discussed, decided, and action plan. Okay. So next is anticipating common questions. Now here guys, in the meeting one, you can have a very beautiful activity, which I have shared some time back, but I will again share it for you in the TCT batch one group, that is called as uh, I forget the name, but it's called as the different role meeting. There are different roles in that meeting: villain, hero, interrupter, neutron, proton, electron. You can conduct that meeting. That activity goes on for a very good 40 minutes to 1 hour. Yes, you give them an agenda, and each one has a role to play. For example, the agenda can be planning the annual picnic of the company. And so tell them that within this 15 minutes, I want a plan, the venue, the menu, the activities, how are we going, how are we coming, and what is going to be the itinerary of these 2 days of weekend picnic, which is an annual picnic. And then ask each one, you give them a chit and let them open the chit. There are different roles. Some will get a villain, some will get a hero, some will get proton. Proton is basically a positive person. Some will get an electron, who's a negative person. Some will get what do you say, neutron, who's a neutral person, who does not oppose, does not even, not negative, not positive. Then one person is a comedian, who likes to bring a lot of humor. The entire meeting is going in one direction, and then he suddenly says something and everyone starts laughing. So, and one is a leader. Yes, the leader's role is to give the final DDA to you. What was discussed, what is decided, and what was the action plan. So this is the activity that you can conduct. I've already explained the activity here. Yes. So that is it. The B, anticipating common questions and responses. So review the past interactions. Yes, whenever they go into a meeting, they have to review the past, whatever has been discussed. Put yourself in the client shoes. While in the meeting, they should put themselves in the client shoes. They should have empathy, analyze the client's industry and business model. Even before getting into a meeting, they should understand what is the client's industry he's coming from, what is his business model. Yes, because basically it's a puzzle that the provider and the consumer both are trying to fit. They're trying to fix a picture. Yes. Then the next one is, guys, see smart objectives. You all know smart, specific, measurable, actionable, realistic, and time bound. Client centric approach. They need to have a client centric approach. Give them an example of Amazon. How Amazon has one empty chair in every meeting, and that empty chair is not none the other but the customer whom they assume as. And in the meeting, they just assume that this is the customer sitting in front of them, and they do all the discussions, whatever is decided, whatever actions plans have been decided, DDA, is it pleasing to this customer who is sitting on this empty chair? And the last is post meeting review. Even after the meeting, have a review. How was the meeting? What went well? What didn't go well? And then again, how was the session today? Okay. So yeah, this is the, guys, I do a learning check. If you see this QR code, just make a Google form, convert it into a QR code, put it there. So a learning check from session 1 to 5. These are all surprise checks, surprise learning checks that I do. Okay, Padlet is one where they can share their ideas. Okay, whatever suggestions you want. This is just for a change, where they can put in their suggestions and it is seen on the screen. Padlet.com. Yes. And Angle, Tangle, and Dangle is nothing but a recap activity which I have shared in 10 Magic Days as well, where you give them a topic, you ask them to revise all the 10 days, and now the recap, the summarization of the entire course will be done using this method called as Angle, Tangle, and Dangle. So ask them, what is the new perspective? Angle is nothing but what insights did they gain from the course? Tangle is what are new perspectives that they have now, and Dangle is nothing but is there something else that they feel that is not yet covered, not yet, needs to be explored more. So you form three teams, give one team Angle, another team Tangle, another team Dangle, and then you can rotate and revolve this. So in the next turn, the Angle team takes Tangle, the Tangle teams take Dangle, and the Dangle teams takes Angle. Okay, so that was it, guys. This is the entire module. Now let me show you. So this was a PPT. I've just explained to you how you need to cover the detail of each point. Now on the PPT, I do not put the details. It's only the main pointers, but the details of each pointer is in the handout. If you see, there is a file here called as handout. Okay, so just go to this handout and check. This is a handout which is given to the trainees so that they need not take notes in the classroom. They can completely be focused on you, what you are sharing, the activities, and the screen. So this, guys, is a complete details of this 10 session module. Yes, the module may look short, but when you conduct it, it takes time. It takes a lot of time when you do the activities, when you're explaining, because in a training room, you will get a lot of different perspectives. Someone is sharing their insights, someone is asking a question. And so at times, the session gets a little diverted. But yes, your role is to stick to the objective of that, the content of that day's session. You need to be flexible as well as focused. Yes, so this is all that needs to be done for this. Yes, now let me check if there is something else. Okay, let me check what is in this online tools. Hmm. I'm just explaining, guys, the module that you will get. So, okay, wheel of names, guys, is just you can put names of everyone and then ask whoever the arrow comes to. You do have experiences. We used it in TCT. And now going back, okay, if you see, guys, now there are, apart from these 10 sessions, I did some extra sessions for these guys, because while conducting the sessions, I realized that they need a few more things, because while speaking to them, this was, by the way, these sessions were planned. So I told you I got 6 batches. So the first batch was just a trial run, wherein there were a lot of learnings that I got. So I kept on improvising on each batch. So total 60 sessions, 10 sessions in one batch. So total 60 sessions. Each batch we improvise. And these were the additions that I did in the upcoming batches. So tense and preposition. Okay. So here is the tense and prepositions and tenses. You can use this module for them, because most of the errors that I make, this I made it using generated using AI, guys. So you go through it, it's very self-explanatory. Tense and prepositions, I need not explain this. Then going to tense and prepositions, email writing, because they need to communicate a lot non-verbally with the client. So again, there is a PPT on this. Yes, you can use in your classroom. Basically, it is on the theme of formal and informal communication. When do you use formal? When do you use informal? With the client, it will be formal. With their internal team, it can be informal. So what should be the tone? What words need to be used in that? There is an entire explanation, a format of writing that email in this. Go through this. And along with that, here there is a template for different forms of email writing. Yes, formal tone, there is a template here. Check this. Very useful. You can give it to them. They can use it directly, practically. Yes, this is a different template for writing emails. Yes, you see here different scenarios, different email template is there. So in email writing, so two more additions, that was and tenses and just a minute, tenses and, oh, I just lost this. Yeah, tenses and email writing. So one more part is, 1 minute. Okay, so the one more part of this is, I think, so there is, yeah, 7 golden rules of articles. This is very, very important. So there are some very common mistakes they make in articles. Now, what are articles? Articles are nothing but a, and the. So while I was speaking to them in my one-on-one observation with these people, I realized they make a lot of mistakes in articles. Because sorry to say, but some of them come from not English medium school. Yes, though they are engineers, they are BSc, MSc, IT professionals, but they write their papers in English. But when it comes to spoken English, they make a lot of mistakes. And this is one of the areas where they make mistakes apart from tenses. So these are the 7 golden rules of articles. You can conduct this. So you go through this. The article rules are very simple. Use it in your training. These are 7 rules. And yeah. So, mm, yeah, so this entire thing, guys, I'm giving you this module, which most of you were asking me for such a long time. And go through it, go through this. If you have any doubts, come in the TCT sessions that we are having every Tuesday. We have started this special initiative just to handhold you till you do not get the results, till you are, not getting results, till you're stuck. So let me check what else. Okay, these are QRs. So I hope I have explained, guys, the entire thing. This is the best that I can do for you. Any doubts, note down, come in the live Tea with TCT sessions every Tuesday, that is from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. So bye guys, you will receive this. Rajendra will make sure that you get this module as well. It will be put in the main toolkit, and the name of the folder will be ARESS, ARES. Just find this folder there. Bye guys. Bye. See you. And God bless you.